Movie starts when Goring awakens in a sterile, concrete cell marked with the number 48, completely oblivious to the psychological horror he has voluntarily walked into. Having agreed to serve 6 months in the Vertical Self-Management Center, known simply as the Pit, in exchange for an accredited degree, Goring brings only a copy of Don Quixote as his personal allowance. His cynical cellmate, an elderly man named Trimagasi who brought a self-sharpening knife called the Samurai Plus, explains the brutal reality of their environment. The facility consists of hundreds of stacked vertical cells with a large rectangular opening carved through the middle. Once a day, a floating slab laden with an extravagant gourmet banquet, prepared by master chefs at level 0, descends through the center, stopping for just 2 minutes per level. Inmates on level 1 gorge themselves on fresh delicacies, while those on lower levels must survive on whatever discarded leftovers remain. By the time the platform reaches level 48, the food is a picked-over mess, but Goring eats enough to scrape by. During his first month, Goring witnesses a blood-soaked woman named Miharu periodically riding the platform downward, killing anyone who threatens her as she searches for her lost child. At the end of 30 days, a sleeping gas fills the cell, and the inmates are randomly reassigned to a new level. Goring wakes up bound in heavy cloth straps on level 171, where the platform arrives entirely empty. Trimagasi, sitting across the room, reveals his plan. Because there is no food, he will carve small strips of flesh from Goring's body over the next month to keep them both alive, promising not to kill him outright. On the 8th day of starvation, Trimagasi begins slicing Goring's leg, but Miharu suddenly descends on the platform, attacks Trimagasi, and slits his throat. She frees Goring, who in a delusion of hunger and trauma eats part of Trimagasi's corpse to survive the rest of the agonizing month. The following month, Goring awakens on level 33 alongside a new cellmate, Imagiri, a former administrator for the prison facility who entered voluntarily after being diagnosed with terminal cancer. Imagiri, accompanied by her pet dachshund, brought a naive faith in the system, believing there are only 200 levels and that if everyone practices spontaneous solidarity by rationing their food, there would be enough for every inmate to eat. She tries politely shouting to the inmates on level 34 to ration their portions, but they mock and ignore her. Out of frustration, Goring threatens to spit on all the remaining food on the platform unless the lower levels listen to Imagiri, proving that force, rather than moral persuasion, is the only language respected in the tower. Soon after, Miharu passes through their cell again, and in a terrifying fit of madness, slays Imagiri's dog for sustenance. The next month's relocation delivers Goring to the horrifying depth of level 202, where he wakes up to find Imagiri has hanged herself to leave her body behind as food for him. Tormented by hallucinatory visions of both Trimagasi and Imagiri mocking his moral decline, Goring resorts to cannibalism once more, slowly slipping deeper into madness while barely surviving the month. Everything shifts when Goring wakes up on level 6 alongside Bahara, a deeply religious man equipped with a long rope who desperately tries to persuade the inmates on level 5 to help pull him up to freedom, only to be humiliated and defecated on. Recognizing that level 6 is a rare opportunity of abundance, Goring convinces Bahara that they must ride the platform all the way down through every floor, arming themselves with weapons to forcibly ration the food so that every prisoner receives a share. Furthermore, an old wise man on a lower floor advises them that they must send an untouched, pristine luxury dish back up to level 0 on the returning platform. A symbol, or the message, to prove to the ruling administration that human dignity exists within the pit. They select an immaculate panna cotta dessert to protect with their lives. As the platform plunges past level 50, the food vanishes entirely, forcing Goring and Bahara to violently fight off desperate, starving inmates who attack them for the panna cotta. They pass level 200, realizing the tower is far deeper than anyone believed, witnessing unspeakable horrors and taking severe, bloody injuries in relentless battles. When the platform finally reaches level 333, it comes to a stop. In the dark, cold cell, Goring spots a small young girl hiding under a bed, Miharu's daughter, proving Miharu's desperate search was real. Starving and shivering, the child gazes at the untouched panna cotta. Realizing that the survival of an innocent child outweighs any symbolic food dish, Goring and Bahara feed the entire panna cotta to the little girl. That night, Bahara succumbs to his catastrophic battle wounds and bleeds to death. As the platform arrives the next day, Goring steps onto it with the young girl, riding it down into the pitch-black abyss beneath the bottom floor. Deep within the darkness at the very floor of the facility, a vision of Trimagasi appears to Goring, reminding him that his journey is complete and that he cannot ride back up. The message requires no bearer. Accepting his fate, Goring steps off the platform into the shadows. The innocent young child sits alone on the platform as it ascends rapidly toward level 0 at blinding speed, carrying the ultimate proof of humanity's resilience straight to the creators of the nightmare.